Welcome, chat, back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are continuing this game exactly where we left off. We just finished Chapter 2. We solved the murder of our good dear friend, and we're finally made it to Great Britain. So we shall continue our adventure. Episode 3, The Adventure of the Runaway Room. We're gonna just go ahead. We're just gonna pop right into it. We got no time to waste. Today's stream is 2.5 hours. Episode 3. The Adventure of the Runaway Room. I'm gonna voice everyone in British.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter.
I'll just let him talk. I don't care. Pop off, King.
A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night.
Hi, Mako. How
Though
you
the
doing?
victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident,
Herlock.
I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Damn, shawty. Okay, go ahead. Pop off, Sholmes. And we have more anime cutscenes. Fuck yeah, I'm down. Yo, it's our boys!
Amazing.
And girl. It's our boy and our girl.
Is this really just a railway station?
It's British.
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
They both have British accents, low-key.
And look at all the steam locomotives.
Despite the fact that they're both Japanese. They kind of sound British.
This country is incredible.
A little. Not that much. Oh, there we go. We're fucking here. Who's gonna get murdered? Brian's Coca? Oh, poor London
I
boys.
feel like
Your bags are
I'm
gonna get
dreaming.
snatched.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
No, your bags are already been snatched.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb
Hello.
aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
in that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
Let's go to the court already. Oh, okay, he's working for. I thought our bag just got snatched.
Students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so.
All right.
Well then, I hope you
It's a
enjoy
nice ass carriage, actually. That looks so dope. I want to take a ride in that shit.
Welcome to the center of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Mako, I think you're working under a misunderstanding. I think you're working under a misunderstanding here, Mako. This isn't the original trilogy. We're playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which were released recently. We've already played the entirety of the original trilogy. This is like the newer game. Maka. I think you've been working under a misunderstanding. No, that's not Phoenix. This is taking place in like 1920 or something. It's a while ago. All right, British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. Fuck yeah, dude. I know that. I thought it was Phoenix. No, sadly not. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. We need more original designs in the game than SMH. Ryunosuke looks cool. Yeah, you know, he's got a sword on his belt. I think there's more to differences than just construction materials. What is it? Wait, do I have the sword in my in my items? No. An armband I inherited from Kazuma. It identifies the wearer as a defense lawyer throughout the Empire of Japan. Okay. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice Office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. Kazuma can't, because he's fucking dead. So instead we are here in a different capacity, as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes, and having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yeah, oh shit, I budged my microphone, my bad. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. ... I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Hey, Peter. I'm gonna give him a fucking Joe voice from Family. Oh! I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. Sorry. I don't know if I should keep this voice or not. I think it's kind of funny. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So introductions. I am Mael Stronghawk, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Ugh, and I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Muranosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes, thank you. Pop off, shoddy. Go off. Converse, London. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, well, help! I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Nabba? Oh? Words. We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Yo, what's up, Joe Lou? I love Ace Attorney. Fuck yeah, dude, welcome. We're on chapter 3 of the first game in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you know where that is. Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Full of pea and vinegar. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our grand city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. London, British Tesco has the Yorkshire tea. Exactly. I'm not gonna give everyone that accent, but like if there's like a bailiff character, you already know I'm giving him a nice chipper accent, yeah? The sun will never set on our grand empire. I thought the sun on the flag was Japan's thing. Perhaps it is fate that these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. That's literally what I was just saying. Fuck, I clicked the wrong one, bruh. Bruh, momentum. I'm going to this talk. I'm trying to talk like, I don't know, it's kind of like the inspector from the last 2 chapters, kind of. But I'm trying to like, the main thing I'm doing with his voice right now is just trying not to have a single pause in the entire sentence. If you've noticed. I don't know. I try to voice every character different, but I honestly I'll need some time with this one because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of guys who kind of fit the same archetype, whatever. All right. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. I'm Mr. Kazuma Sogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news. Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means the study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madame? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. This is it, then. The moment of truth. Continuing the study tour. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. What's up, Billy the Cute Kitty? Welcome into the stream. How you doing? But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. You can take the switch. Here you go, brother. Here's the switch. Go play your Fire Emblem. Well, in that case, that accent is Jesus. I'm trying to make him like pompous and take the dog out here. I don't know. There you go. Thank you. What if there was someone else, another lawyer from Japan? I mean, I'm thinking and twirling my cane. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Isogi. At least that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, she fucking smacks me. I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? Are you gonna make me pick? If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's Miss Susato! It's me. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I'm glad I'm not British because I can't be offended by the accent making posh as fuck. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna get some good accents later. You know? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but no qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens, and I had Kazuma to help me. And I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Burya. Checking my watch. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Isogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please! 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? Are there going to be an Australian accent? I have no idea if there's an Australian character. And also, I'm not even sure what I do for Australian accent. I'm not too familiar with them. You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Test, bitches. So what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? He's gonna set me up immediately into a trial? Fuck yeah, dude. Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? Ugh, how do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's obviously a murder trial. It's a murder trial. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. Naruto? Shot. Why is he pretty? Why is he pretty? Why is... Ooh, Ryunosuke or Strongheart? I mean, his name is Male Strongheart. That's the most daddy name I've ever heard in my entire life. Lamau farewell, I'm Australian and I'm now scared. But I should mention just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short sea-based introduction to British law. We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. I'm already falling asleep. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Or is it hung? I don't know. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I'll do it! Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. Damn, Shawty. It didn't take me that long. So it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have no noble intentions, but lack the resolve to... Oh, you have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. Girl, help the snap. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Dude, shoddy, it'll work out, but... Miss Zato, I'm sorry, Mrs. Zato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madame? This is like the 1920s. I could get away with legally smacking either of you. I think what Mr. Zato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. I can't help but notice your ass as you tried to walk away from me. I'd like to offer you a job here. Was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. No noble, just mix them, it stays noble. What? Mix them? So, what do you say now, madame? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Well, he was kind of fruity. He's gone. The Old Bailey. Fuck yeah, give me the orchestral strings. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Let's go. The Old Bailey, bitches. Bum, bum, bum. Fuck yeah, Chotty. 18th of February. 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Man, I'm totally cheered up now. Thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Flips through my transcript. Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. There's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. Is it one of these two? I don't fucking know. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madame. Sir. Fucking Lucky Charms. Like, what are you doing? Following me? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it really? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Guinea pigs? Please, Mr. Zato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. My name... My name is Jeffrey Bezos. Like, could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'd be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want for you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about the thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Yes, busted in praises. Do yous not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? Just called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. JoJo pose. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park in central London? A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Ah, but now they've got the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. You should be saying that to me over here. Gosh, I'm sweating. Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. I'm not the best at Irish accent or Scottish or whatever it is, but I'm trying my best, chat. Let me know if you like it or not. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This chancellor of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? 'Cause he did it. That's the only explanation. Well? Well, not at all. Not at all. Although, it is a little strange, to be honest. Why don't you have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Baroque van Zieks. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zieks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness. Lord Baroque van Zieks. Zieks? I think it's Zieks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel, that would be me. Oh, it is time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here, I'd made up my mind, so I had... Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. Alright, chat. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. I literally know nothing about the case. Or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Let's fucking do it, dude. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. Let's fucking go then. I'll be right there. Damn. Oh, we're doing it. It's happening then. Oh, fuck yeah. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Fuck yeah, dude. Actual girl boss right there. Rinosuke's a girl boss. Give me the jingle. No, oh, we're just getting right into it. I thought it was gonna offer me a save point. Damn! What's with the fires? The Old Bailey courtroom. Fuck yeah, shoddy? Oh, damn! Do we have a jury? No shot. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court of Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, what? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Fuck yeah. Oh, Jesus! He's a fucking vampire. Oh, he's right out of Twilight, huh?
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilden. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Huh? Yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready, and I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. He's got a sword, too. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to the phantom notion of courage. quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Ugh, a cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tip of my toes.
Put those grippers away!
Now, Mr. McGilden.
Oh my god, Edgeworth is cosplaying as Vincent Valentine. Okay, this isn't a funny joke, I'm sorry. It's fine, Mako. I appreciate it. Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
Oh, as I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fella's a student from some little island off in the Far East. It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance. I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilden, what a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated 5,000 pounds to the government the other day? Mother, please, may we go and play in McGilden Park? Seems though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilden. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilden, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you.
Fuck yeah,
that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Ooh. Fuck, I gotta have a voice for all 6 of them? Shit!
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish properly. Naturally, I agree.
Ha! And the criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me!
I'm gonna take a drink too, fuck it.
I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dearest. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Just finish these mitts for my grandson.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, these people are fucking losers. Like in the middle of the hallway. The jury, yes, that's something we don't have in Japan yet. Damn, dude, that's kind of crazy. Okay, cool. That's sick. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes.
Prosecutor Van Zeeks.
My lord. I'm trying to give him the most, like, simpable voice ever. Like, I could really simp for this man. But, like, I need to give him a voice that fits that. Well, Mr. Naruto, these people are weird as hell, right? In, like, a foreign country, like, these guys are fucking losers.
It has been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. We can trim for him together, hell yeah.
So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
My boyfriend died. I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. It just means he's rusty as fuck.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. Just like the trembling boys I have underneath my fingers. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. Pikachu. I haven't played the games with Black Quill in them. I know who that is, but I haven't played the games with him in them. I'm sorry, Mako. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. Right after my manicure. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. It's okay, Black Quill is hella base though. Okay, I'll take your word. Sorry, Thrice? Shit! I forgot my microphone.
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
Just like my firm buttocks. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. I know how to do a bit of thrusting myself. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, Counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Fuck yeah, shawty. Photograph. The knife in his abdomen, his face looks so skewed. Okay. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Good lord, is that blood, Counsel?
No, these are my shit-wiping gloves. I don't believe in toilet paper. Yes, my lord, seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them?
Quick, make him try them on before they apparently shrink in size.
Yes, I will accept these evidence as well. These as evidence is what I said.
Alright. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Backed into a corner, that's just how I like my boys. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. And the other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Oh, I don't know. Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilded.
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting, so it is, when I open my eyes again. 'Twas a desperate sight before me, the body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask us, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves, now was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got onto the gloves then after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Exclamation marks.
Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. The elf on the shelf witnessed it. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It is a case of a compelling buttocks. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Poison. Thank you, Counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. But, like, not in, like, a gay way, though, because I'm definitely not gay. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. I am secretly gay. Oh, here we go. We've got some witnesses. Oh, his hat falling off. Von Zieks did not have to be that hot. He looks fire, though. One cold boy. Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
First fair play. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First.
Ladies first? Fucking goddamn this fucking naming pun.
I, make hats for gents.
Let's be. Oh, that is a right femboy over there, Mr. First. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present at the stand were in an omnibus and present to the aforementioned incident. Okay, you know what's funny? What's funny, Maka? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
There was a Survivor contestant who called himself Johnny Fairplay and he only lied. I know who you're talking about. I fucking love Survivor. Johnny Fairplay was a fucking legend, but he it was funny. He was funny, dude.
Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please.
Bruce Fairplay's gonna be a little shit, I'm calling it. Nice.
Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
He was funny, but he was a dick. Witness? I thought that said crestimony.
It was the last bust of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
Ah, that's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. He used this whip to give him a nice spanking. Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men were... Dot. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. Oh, I don't know. Fair play is not gonna play fair. First is a shrimp and Beppo is Beppo. I think First, because it's like Lady First. Dude, I think he's just gonna be a femboy, honestly. And probably a shrimp too. How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, why do I have such casual racism? I mean, it is the 1920s, but it makes me significantly less hot. Have you traveled in an omnibus? Von Zieks, stop being such a jerk. I might have to kiss you on the cheek. Exactly. Well, no. We only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What? What do you mean? The actual scene? How? Carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus!
I don't know, dude. I'm kind of shrimping, child. I'm kind of feeling it. Damn, shawty. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers.
4 passengers are seated inside the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
SMH, why is everybody jumping? The traffic light burning, the wheels of steel turning, the inner city disco. Skylight, oh.
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Ugh, that makes perfect sense.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never expected this crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Ah, my toupee fell off.
What is first hiding under that hat? Maybe more hair, I don't know.
Very well, I see.
I mean, I would say that first might actually be a lady, but they already did the lady disguised as a man thing in the last chapter, so I don't know if they'd do that 2 chapters in a row. I think he might just be a twink.
I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
I can't believe it! The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Can I examine it? That would be fucking... I can examine it. Holy shit. Dude, that's so sick. I'm sorry, what? Fucking excuse me? No, that's not supposed to be... What the fuck? That's wrong. No, that's wrong. What the shit, dude? God damn you. Okay. I love that. Jesus. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Fucking love this cross-examination music. Let's open the door and go inside, shall we? The scene of a murder. It's horrible. Okay. Fucking love that. Can I open this up? This seat has a handle, it seems. Bag, or whatever. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to store their luggage, that's for sure. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Is there anything else? Okay, well, there's a tub. That's all we gotta know. There's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Did you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder? Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. My question is there anything on the roof? Let's try it. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. Okay, important. Alright, I think that's everything that we need in here, really. Come on, Phoenix Wright Omnibus. I can't find anything out of place. I can! God damn it. Alright. Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue with proceedings, then. No cross-examination, counsel.
Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Fucking takes out the katana and stabs him. Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Fuck yeah. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Hell yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, they got the little shits, dude, that they got. Oh, fuck yeah, I love it. Hold it! Hold it! Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Sorry, I'm not gonna do an accent for Ryunosuke. Oh, yes, sir, that's right, sir. It was freezing, in fact. Okay. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, though, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that, sir. None. Alright, no reactions. So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then? I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does every evening, the last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, this is sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside that bus.
Hold it! Hold it! And you saw them through the skylight and the roof of the carriage? Poor lad, so cold.
That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here.
Ugh, I really wish there was.
Then out of the blue, the accused just suddenly reached over and plunged a knife right into his gut.
Hold it! I'm just pressing on everything right now. You actually saw the exact moment it happened.
Didn't I already testify to that? I have a staff, or our fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that.
Couldn't have been anyone else. Hold up. This is no good. I've really got his back up.
Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's...
My lord! Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up.
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me.
Bruh, motherfucker, what?
There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway.
Hold it.
Precisely what I was about to say. And the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
Shoddy motherfucker has all of those apple-bottom jeans. What is happening here? Let me see. Ah, yes, it seems that that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. Now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare.
He even has a knife. He is stinking rich. I have no idea. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it. Hold it. He stabbed him, you said. And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting right next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absentmindedly around. But then I happened to look down to the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly. That huge, great knife.
Ah, chilling sight indeed.
Ah, that didn't help me at all. Oh my fucking god. The jury looks like they're even more convinced McCloud did it than they were before. Juror 3. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Oh, yes, sir? Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief! Yes, that's it! The very one, sir! Is that... Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is a blade of considerable size, counsel. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Ah, please no. M for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly? Take your pick. It seems that this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. Objection! Fuck yeah. Oh, but there aren't any, but there are M's everywhere. Like, yes! Like in Mason.
Objection!
Oh, look at his special graphic! Objection! This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No! This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel. Its quality, since it must be quite valuable. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Ah, juror number 2, go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However... Fucking bitch! Oh, sorry, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish. That's fucking 3 of them! I need every other jury member to vote for me. No. I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. Hold it! Oh, hold it! I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to... Fuck! God damn, shoddy! Damn! Y'all fucking me up, for real, for real. Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Alright, so we've done the whole thing. Can I just like look at the court record without? All right, examine. Maybe chat. Wait, maybe they're saying it's M for Magnus, but maybe it's W for. Oh fuck! How do I make it a W? Shit. A W for Winnie. I don't know. Take the scabbard off though. That part is the sheath, isn't it? For Wombo! Exactly. Are you alright, Mr. Nanahoda? Oh, sorry. Yes, I just don't really like blades. Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. For Wombo. Okay. Ugh, that looks a lot like blood. It surely is blood. The victims. An Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood. Did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yes, I do understand. So we have the blood. Is there any other important discoveries to be made? He didn't really drive it in all that deep, to be 100% honest with you. It kind of looks like a pussy boy stab. What about the design on the blade? It doesn't look like it's important. I can examine the gloves. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Well, nothing will come of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Ha, pity. If only he'd been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. What about this one? So just one? Okay. Wait, I feel like that goes deeper in. You know what I'm saying, chat? I feel like that goes deeper in than there's blood on the knife. You know what I'm saying, chat? It looked, to me, stabbed once in the abdomen. Okay. I want to press on this. What exactly did you see? Well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was. And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason the brickmaker. And then the other passenger had the knife in his hand, like this. By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded. And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. What? Wait, if he was already lying there, I thought he was only stabbed once.
My lord, I wish to speak.
Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too?
As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep an open mind a little. Gee up now, Silverblaze. The finish is in sight. Oh, fucking A, dude. Grandma, if you go to the guilty side, I will murder your grandson. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. Can I request a juror swap? Because he knows him. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear? What can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you not yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. Man like that one stab someone, surely. Mother, man, we gotta McGill Pub Library later and buy some books. I don't know why they all have Boston or whatever accent I'm doing. How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know what kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded. The grandmother, a real one. I think she do be. Has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls. What? Stone the crows!
McGilded lends money at exorbitant rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that...
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts.
Good gracious.
The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded.
I don't believe it.
Oh, let's go, Susato.
Hold it. If I might add something briefly.
Miss Susato?
You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where's the evidence to support your claim?
Fuck yeah, Shotty. Go for it. Oh, shit. Oh. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Haha, there it is. Lord Van Zeeks' hollow chalice.
How can this be considered acceptable?
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. Would you like a sip? And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
Well, at least he likes Eastern people. At least he's not the most casually racist one we've seen. Don't drink and prosecute.
A marvelous toast, Counsel. I would gladly accept this new evidence.
Okay. Who owed over 20 guineas? Fuck, dude. I don't even know how much that is. But it sounds like a lot.
Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
Can I look at it myself, though? Any blood on this? Any sussy baka shit? No? Okay.
This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets from London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it?
Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps.
Actually, I wonder. I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes' name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
Sure. I can't read that. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this! Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay.
Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment. Oh, yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here?
He owes 4 doubloons.
He borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be a very useful information.
Ooh. Damn, okay. Okay, Shotty. We getting it done. Fuck yeah, dude. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
I don't know. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Angry Granny.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel!
No!
Still, maybe it's all for the best.
Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before.
I don't stand for nonsense. I'm an original gangster.
Fucking bitches, dude. Granny, no. Oh, I've immediately died. That was it. The last juror's decision. Have I fucked up? Like, can you lose in this way, or is this scripted? I have no clue. Let me go flip through my book real quick. According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Ha! The final verdict! It's over then. Oh. There's a footnote, though. A footnote? However, the defense... Read the footnote!
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
It's scripted. It's gotta be. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude this trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Raise an objection, homeboy. Mr. Zato, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Well then, we shall do that. A summation examination.
Objection!
Objection! A summation examination. Sorry, I raised my voice a little bit. God, he's so hot. Okay, he has undeaded. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Mrs. Zato? This so-called summation examination? Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. She takes the next 20 minutes reading. She's like a really slow-ass reader. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions?
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Well, lucky for you, I am not self-respecting in the slightest. Still, Dr. Racism. I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? A summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert our right, bitches! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
Objection! London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. Objection. But it's our right. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe we could prove vital in this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
Well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so...
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision.
On what grounds?
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I didn't really hold it with all this justifying lark. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. All right then, no, this is Sparta. The summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime. Don't like juror number 3. He's definitely murdered. He's definitely a bitch. Judicial findings. The juror's contentions.
There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the Bro, he almost fucking stabbed that lady next to him. He stuck the chapter in just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collapsed all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
It's that fucker who I've got to target, I think.
That scoundrel stabbing the poor man on the floor.
He didn't stab him on the floor.
It beggars belief.
On the floor? I'm targeting fucking grandma. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I don't even think Granny believes it. Maybe, maybe not. I'll just throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Huh? I thought I was gonna have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? The 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against the other. I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Is it completely illegal for a jury member to know anyone involved in the case? Yeah, that's true as well. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. All right, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. Ooh, double smack. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Fuck yeah, Ryunosuke. Fuck yeah. Look at my boy. Okay. Excellent memory. Fares totaling 20 pence. Okay. Fares. We haven't raised above 4 pence. 4 times 4.
Objection!
Objection! Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
They do? Explain yourself, Counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's main and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have the precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is a fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication,
It would be 16 pence.
exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare.
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious. This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride in his omnibus.
All right, then how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Oh shit. Well, according to my book here, you just stop being a bitch. You simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Fucking Beppo, let's go, dude. Beppo's in trouble.
This is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. Fuck yeah! Let's go, shawty!
For the love of Mike! Who is definitely not the name of my secret boyfriend! Oh shit! Not you as well!
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it! If we manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more, actually. There is something else that's been bothering me about a couple of their assertions. That's where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly. Beppo isn't Beppo at all, he's Bebeevil. No, not Bebeevil! You can do it. I love how the music cuts off.
The scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
I'd like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself.
He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen.
I'm gonna pit this motherfucker against that one.
Objection!
Objection! Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, Counsel, post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you?
We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was just like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
He just drops the knife, right?
Yes, it was Mr. Fairplay's testimony, quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move. Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
Bless my stitches. What a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh, but why? Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies.
Let's fucking go, Granny. The scales.
I don't believe it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, dark jinx.
Wow, that is incredibly racist, but go on.
What exactly is the problem? What of it? Two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events.
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim who was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that,
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
Jury number one being racist as hell. He only has one stab wound. I know, chat. I was thinking that. They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? It's out of the question. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say did two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime? If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
I'm figuring this out and being excited. No problem, Mako. It looks like the only one going to convince him is presented with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence, as you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by... stabbed once.
Take that!
Take that. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means the witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times.
Alright, I concede defeat.
There we fucking go, chat. Updated autopsy report when? Exactly, chat. Fuck yeah. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won. Not yet. But we did this correctly, but we haven't won the trial yet.
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir! No one deceives me.
But we had a consensus.
I say shut your trap! I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Please do not lick that knife again, sir.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Fuck yeah, shorty! Let's go.
So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
I haven't talked in like 20 minutes. I finished my wine while you were doing your bullshit. I'm gonna penetrate your twink ass later. The aroma, cranberries, and pomegranate. Ah! Never mind. Having savored the rich aroma of the caramine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks!
Brr, is it cold in here? Is it just me? As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination, so I honored a deathly silence and listened to this charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury.
They all went, damn, shoddy!
Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Oh! Yes! 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 Daddy! Okay, sorry. God. Bring forth the witnesses once more! He whipped off his cape. Dude, Mako, he whipped off his cape. Oh! Witnesses! I trust you heard the summation examination we just had to endure.
Oh, yes, that I did, sir. Of course I heard it.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo. Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
Bepeevil! Van Zeeks, my beloved bastard, right? If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to violate the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mio Dio.
Dio. Ho. She's a big deal, miss. Okay, well, I don't even know the fucking words.
Now then, witness, I hereby call you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
Various misgivings.
I only carried for 4 passengers that night. I swear it, but
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much! I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Counsel, make sense for this, please.
The phantom fifth Paris passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage.
Beppo, explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty.
I've been dishonest, coachman.
I'm sorry.
Beppo, bruh. Hot dog nose. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace. In your satisfaction, I brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done that arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures.
Holy shit, I'm tired as fuck!
Well, it appears that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. The counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tiredness isn't real? Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Okay. I need to present something, I think. Let me press on this. This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume? Yes, sir! A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed. Good gracious, really? We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant. I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, see? That's when I looked at the glass. That's when I saw that horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating. Stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Hold it! Hold it. So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him.
That's what I said, isn't it?
It was bothering me before, this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question.
Anyway, there's only two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
Now he heard a gasp? Yeah, right? I don't know, dude. Their stories are whack. There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as yet, zero evidence.
Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty.
So do you want Mr. Fairplay's testimony to just jars with me? I can't work how it was.
Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
Hold it! Why do you think so, huh? Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's weird, though. Shouldn't you have been driving? You said the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose. I might have, you know, yes. Put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the roof on the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that was me, sir.
Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all? How you know he was driving? Because he's literally being described as, he's the driver. He was the driver. Like, that's who he was introduced as. First is absolutely adorable, by the way. How do you know he was... First, you succulent twink. How is he? It's a horse-drawn carriage. So he was like, he was like, yeah! You know what I'm saying?
I did, but when I could go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I?
Excuse me! Excuse me! Bitch! Excuse me! Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Some days are like that! I want to answer that so bad. I want to answer that so bad. Fuck. No chance. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is.
Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it was clear as a ball rat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot on the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed that man?
You mean these gloves?
Blood-soaked?
Ahem. Well, perhaps soaked is laying it on a little thick, but...
But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them are covered in it. And you saw that from the roof, through the skylight.
Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view. And there was a lamp on inside the carriage as well, and I'm quite sure of what I saw.
This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it. When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruhodo, that's when you should have a good look through the court record. Not long ago, this trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light. If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful as they did before. Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from recovering important new information. Yes, you're so right. I need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses. Remember, if you happen to spot one of the... Okay, this is whatever. Get fucking attorneyed on. Fair play. Yeah, damn right, shoddy. If first is the murder, I'm gonna be, like, incredibly shocked.
Objection! Objection!
Blood-soaked hands.
Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
It wouldn't be the first time a femboy was a murderer. True. Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. He wiped his ass, but I'm sure as you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
But no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here, then? That's right, you were quite clear about it. You said, "Here!" with both hands.
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
Objection. It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. It wasn't both hands, it was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
Objection, motherfucker. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. Was that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely. The book, chat. Yeah, you're right. Compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have evidence, bitches. My lord.
Yes, counsel?
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Very well.
I hereby call them defense to present this evidence. Take that.
Take that!
I have no evidence. Wait, fuck, no. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, you currently indebted financially to the accused? No, well, it's barely worthy of being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Fuck yeah, shoddy.
Order, Mr. Booze Fairplay. Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to thrust a knife into the victim?
He thrust his cock into him! Shit. Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right, now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth in a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilda's hands, both of them.
Objection! Objection, motherfucker. And yet only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. Breakdown, breakdown, da-na-na-na-na-na.
Garrison, you keep saying.
Oh, my boyfriend turned on the remote he has in his pocket, and now I'm starting to shake a little bit. No worries. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir?
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. Which might prove Mr. McGilda's innocence if it was a different one. What? Ugh.
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses.
He's just dead, yeah.
This time I'd like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Will I make myself perfectly clear? Yes.
Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes! I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Oh, fuck, dude. What the witnesses really saw.
There's blood on both hands of these fellows. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself, not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, or we all would have seen.
Yarg mateys. Yarg mateys indeed.
Well, lo and behold. In truth, in fact, not one of you was a witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. This is where the victim had their period. It's clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, the California girl was unforgettable. There is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. If there was another killer, maybe Beppo's hiding something after all. Who knows, chat? If Beppo's the killer, that'd be fucking hilarious.
Very well, your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord! Cross-examination, bitches. Well, the witnesses really saw. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Dude, chat, it's ramping up. The music's faster this time. The music is fucking amazing! Okay, you can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. I was trying to see if you could see the other side of the seats. That's my question. Wait.
question. Question. Someone could have hidden here. This looks like Phoenix Hubs. Someone could have hidden in here. You know what I'm saying, chat? Oh shit, dude. Is this like a rules? What's the rules? Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. Alright, whatever. It's probably foreshadowing for another case or whatever. Ba 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 ba! Okay, so I can't like make anything on it yet. You might say that I didn't say the exact moment of the stabbing, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with the blood on them. I wonder if I should press that one. I'd actually see it not until I heard the scream. Hold it! Hold it! And everything you saw the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus? That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fella, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right, and it's a public bus service for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and lock down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you, I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring long and hard. That's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? They might not have been able to. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight and the floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? By golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Objection, you bitch. Your voice for first on point, not gonna lie. Thank you. Enough hypocritical meandering, my Nipponese friend. At least he called me his friend. But, like, get my nationality right, please. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. And after all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Bum, bum, bum. Where exactly in the omnibus the user this potential extra passenger could have been situated? Da-da-da-da-da. Take that! Take that! Bunzing's really like, you bitch, dear friend. Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. Ah. That's right, my lord. I took art classes, as you can see. The seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from the view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Gah!
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. Your Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth of ambiguity. He is very elegant. I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount.
I cannot entertain this conjecture, Counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo? Fuck, I don't... Fuck, what? Fuck, dude. I don't know. It was Male Strongheart. Fuck it. I don't... Bum, 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 I really don't know. It was Susato, chat. It was. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof of the deck? I guess I have an inkling. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. I have another chalice, I guess. You were a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learnt.
Let us not delay, Counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger of the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was... Fuck.
Take that!
I guess. I guess. The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, Counsel?
That's the name of the defendant. Like, there's literally no one else that could have possibly made sense. I have the inkling could have... Oh, motherfucker, dude! If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks!
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own, but I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
Van Zeeks can belittle me any day. Damn, dude. But that premise may be wrong. What? I'm gonna have to peg you now. If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What's inconsistency, Counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claim that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains. The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Order. What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I can see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen spot, Mr. Ferris? A sport?
I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be so sure?
Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact.
Except he was sleeping.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation.
That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There's clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused Mr. McGilded to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man had been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Sleep, rich boy, tuck him in? Tuck him in, indeed.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Demand his testimony. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Get the man out here, I say!
It would be utterly illogical to hear his not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say?
Oh yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Let's fucking go. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Oh my god, is this a save point? No! I wanted a save point! Damn you!
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters of which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Oh, I was having a little tired nap. Begad, no, 'tis not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the questions, please. And the truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell you so, or keep my mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? And the fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, and there was another passenger.
It's true?
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You... What?
Shoddy, huh? No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry, so I am Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. She'd done it. They'd have hauled her into here with this courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. There's one thing worse than a murderer. A child. No.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man.
The prosecution called for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Bam! Oh, shit! Ah, smoke! Ah, fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them, it's no use! Cough, cough! I can't see anything through all the smoke! What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo! Cover your face!
Bailiff! Don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus! I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued, bitches! Yeah, baby! I was waiting for that to happen. I was waiting to get a save spot. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Look at that shit. Woo! Okay, okay, hold on. Okay, game, wait. Game, hold on. Game, give me... Game, give me a sec. Back to title. Chat, that is going to be the end for the stream today. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. Fuck yeah, we will continue this trial tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to do a raid on JC Backfire. So everybody hop into the raid and get ready for the Rista raid. Hope you guys have a fantastic night. Hope it made you guys' day better because I know you guys make my day better. I hope you guys have an absolute great time. And this game is fucking fantastic. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Farewell, everybody.
This looks gorgeous. Yo, Mr. Mice, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Kid Cal, thank you for the prime earlier. I hope I said that. Thank you so much. This looks gorgeous. Oh, Rister, thank you. Lord Core Keeper? Core Keeper.
That was the latest DLC for Core Keeper, the sandbox survival sim from Fireshine Games and Pugstorm. The Sunken Sea Biome update is available on June 15th for all Core Keeper players. Now we have even more twists and turns and trailers, so press enter to continue. Did you press it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you pressed it. No, but seriously, press it.
Life can be harsh everywhere, but in the old world, there was no hope of it ever improving. When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve. And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding it for the crown.
Not taxes. No.
The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls.
Mr. Mice, have a wonderful yesterday. Thanks for the raid.
Pillaged the outskirts of
Thank
the city.
you.
And so, some of us decided that it was time to leave.
All good, all good.
We'd rather take our chances in the wilderness, seeking the promise of a new land, than starve.
This reminds me of Oregon Trail.
In our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. This wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
Chat, I just saw Sonic Frontiers news on my Twitter feed. I'll tell you guys about it in a sec.